started.
Let's do it.
We are at 6:15.
Melissa, I think you were talking, but you're muted, so we couldn't.
Did you hear me? I just said at 6:50 to get the
No,
party
I was
started.
talking to Melissa.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Now.
Yes, we hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, my laptop is doing bizarre things, so I had to join by my phone.
Okay.
I'm gonna go eat something. Maybe we can get you.
Yeah, you'll see my notes down there. Yeah.
So, Melody, do you have the
Mission statement?
mission statement?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Would you like me to read it?
Yes, please.
I'd love to. WiVLA's mission is to provide an inspiring forum for women to explore and advance their creative development, to promote their work in the marketplace, and to infuse the community with their spirit of cooperation and invention.
Yes.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone tonight. Melissa, do you see any new members here?
Well, let's see. Yeah, Laura Pena is new. Hi, Laura. Welcome. And yeah, Laura just joined on the 1st of October. I don't know if you'd like to say anything, Laura.
Well, I had said that I had been a member of WiVLA like way back, like in the mid 2000s, like around 2010 or so. And then this last year, Margot invited me to do a workshop presentation, which I did. And then I had the year membership, and I went to the Pearl celebration last year. And so I'm like, okay, I got to renew. So yeah, I'm back.
Excellent. Well, that's good. We're glad you are.
Thank you. Really looking forward to doing a lot of those collaborations between the writers and artists. I see all of your work and it's just fabulous. So
yeah, that's a lot of fun.
mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let me scroll up on my phone. I think that's all I see. If there's someone else, hey, unmute and just speak up if I've missed you. It's a little harder on the phone, but hi, welcome everybody.
All right, thanks everybody. Speaking of the collaboration, let's Deborah, do you have anything to report from visual tonight?
Well, we do know that it will be at Sabine in the fall of 2026. We don't have an exact date yet because we have to wait for the exhibition scheduler who has to work through some other people and of course the owners. But we will have it in the fall.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds great. Let's see, Rebecca. Anything to report from
from literary? Yes, I'm going to try to go in time order. So first of all, this weekend is our book club on Saturday at Coco's Donuts, I believe 3:30 to 5:30. Then Haunted Holidays will be November 8th at Brazos Bookstore. As of early this afternoon, there were still 4 spots left on the sign up. The sign up is on the calendar event. If you go to our website, to the calendar, find the event and click on it, you can get to the sign up right from there. Then our November member meeting will feature our literary members reading on the theme of resilience. And as of early this afternoon, there were 5 spots left on that sign up, and it's available same place. Like go to the event on the calendar, click, and you'll see the sign up right there. And then this is from Denise about the Resilience Anthology. Watch for a survey to choose, like to vote on the title and the cover art coming very soon because we want to announce the results during the November meeting.
Okay. Announce results.
Alyssa, programming.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Since Literary readings for the November meeting have already been covered. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I will point out, for those that enjoyed that fabulous Pearl celebration at the end of last year, we do have our WiVLA holiday party coming up, Sunday, December 7th. So we have an opportunity to recreate that vibe, ladies.
Okay.
Once again, on the WiVLA calendar, if you go to the WiVLA website and click on calendar, you'll see the holiday party. There is another sign up there for folks to offer to, because that party is a potluck. So there's all the things we need for a good time on that list. So feel free to go in and choose something and join us. We also have a sort of late add December workshop that just went up on the website. It's a collaboration with Right Space, with one of their instructors, and it is a workshop on writing from the five senses, but particularly themed towards the holidays. So that'll be on Saturday the 13th, and that info is up on the WiVLA calendar as well. And just, if you're there and you're already scrolling, keep scrolling. There are some fantastic workshops already scheduled for January. Some early member meetings for next year are already on the calendar. And so feel free to dip into January. There's a great workshop, The World Within You, co-taught by Susan Salter and Melissa.
Kathy Groff.
Thank you. I knew I was staring at Melissa and knew I was going to get that wrong. So that's a 3-session workshop. And then there's a follow-up where you can train to be a trainer. So all of that is on the calendar as well as an early January glass blowing workshop and demonstration. We chose January for a reason. And so that one's going to be a ton of fun. And per usual, if you have an idea for a member meeting presenter or a workshop teacher, please don't hesitate to give me a holler. With many, many thanks.
Great. Thank you, Alyssa. Let's see, am I missing anyone? There's Kathy right there. Just one announcement that I would have is that we are in the midst of putting together our officer slate for next year. We take take office in January, and we are looking right now for a visual co-chair. We're looking for a web mistress, and we're looking for a historian. That's hard to historian. So if any of you, feel interested in any of those, being on the board is really a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun together. And I think that we have a very, very tight, cohesive board, and you would really enjoy being part of that. So I encourage you to really think about that. I think that's all I've got right now. So I think we're going to turn it over to Alyssa. You're going to introduce our speaker for us.
Yes, ma'am. So tonight we have Martha Serpas joining us. She has 4 published books of poetry, the most recent being The Dirty Side of the Storm, which is, it's my understanding, that was written before Katrina hit. So some really interesting synchronicity there, I'm sure, and Double Effect. She's also a teacher at the creative writing program at U of H, as well as co-directing the scripts program at the U of H Tilman J. Fertitta Family College of Medicine. I had to write that one down to make sure I got it all. Where they work on studying narrative and health together with the doctors, I believe, but correct me if I'm wrong, Martha. And then finally, she's part of a research team studying the properties of psilocybin as they can be used to treat anxiety and depression with cancer patients at MD Anderson, which I find immensely fascinating. There's a lot of work being done with psilocybin and therapy. So we talk about that a lot here at the Jung Center. And so I'm really thrilled to welcome Martha to our meeting, to welcome Martha to WiVLA, and I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, thanks. I'm glad I got to listen in a little bit on your warm up, because now I feel confident that this is going to be a fun conversation. So let me just say a few words of both of my activities that Alyssa mentioned, because they tend to bring up some questions, and I'm happy to talk about it. And if I start to wax too philosophical and excited, tell me. First of all, what's happening at the med school is related to a field called narrative health. And the origins of that, just a bit, because it's so interesting, was this physician and professor at Columbia recognized that what she spent a lot of her time doing with patients was listening to their stories and trying to figure out what the most important details are, try to elicit more information if that was necessary, really interpretation. So she walked over to the English department and said, "Can y'all help me?" I'm sure she didn't say y'all. "Can y'all help me? Can y'all help me learn more about how to listen to stories and understand stories?" So that started this field. What's happening at the med school is 2 graduate students from the creative writing program are over at the med school helping students with narrative health. They're reading literature, they're writing. They're also helping them with their reflective writing. That's part of their courses and their personal statements and things like that. We're getting our way in. But the fellows put out a journal, and it's a new program, but I think it's really taking off. And to our knowledge, there's not another program like it in the country, where graduate students and professional students are working and supporting each other. There are lots of programs, Temple and Stanford and Columbia and Florida Atlantic, that are teaching narrative health, are teaching literature to students, but not one that pairs graduate students and professional students. If I want to say one more thing about that. My partner at the med school, Dr. Winston Liao, told me, or somebody told me, that the average physician sees 40,000 patients in their professional lives. And so when I think that maybe just one student that the fellows come in contact with will learn to listen more carefully to a story, will pay greater attention to the metaphors that she uses in explaining things to patients, that will think deeply about using culturally accessible metaphors. And I think that would touch tens of thousands of patients. That makes me really happy.
That are in the system. Yeah.
Now, MD Anderson. My background, in addition to endless English departments and lots of poetry workshops, is in chaplaincy, and I was a hospital chaplain for a while. And then one day I was riding in the car and trying to listen to a panel of chaplains talk about something. And somebody started talking about how they were a psychedelic chaplain. And I thought, well, wow, that sounds interesting. And before I knew it, I was at Berkeley spending a year learning about how to help people trip. Basically, how to help people trip. And of course, psilocybin is only legal in very specific circumstances in Colorado and Oregon. And so this was interesting. And we spent time talking about ketamine too. We spent time talking about other medicines that have psychedelic effects. But anyway, again, serendipity. Somebody in this California program said, oh, I was just reading about, I was just reading a paper by somebody at MD Anderson who's starting a trial using psilocybin to alleviate anxiety and depression with cancer patients. And I said, MD Anderson? He said, yes. And so again, it was just my good fortune to land at MD Anderson at the beginning of this trial. We're a couple of years in. Again, patients who are, have managed cancer and they are experiencing anxiety and depression, and can pass all of the medical requirements for this trial, end up in a double-blind trial, which means we don't know who gets the real stuff and they don't know who gets the real stuff. The placebo is niacin, which is a vitamin B that makes you flush. And like, ours is early, but most of the research that's been done, and a lot has, out of Johns Hopkins, for example, is very promising, that a single treatment of psilocybin that will give a patient maybe 6 months of alleviated anxiety and depression, as opposed to an antidepressant, which, as you all know, might take forever to kick in, might not, but sometimes takes a long time to kick in just to discover that it's not really effective. We've just started a new trial, which is for cancer survivors. Cancer survivors who are, still, as you can imagine, right, experiencing anxiety concerning their cancer, their residuals from that, and also anxiety about potential recurrence, etc. So we just started that trial. Now, I want to make it so that I can see all of you and I don't see me, because I know what I look like. And I'm missing out on yay. Thank you. All right. So anything about either of those things, how poetry and literature interact with medicine, or psilocybin as a treatment for anxiety and depression. Yes, Jerry. Unmute, please. Please know I have all the patience in the world.
Oh, okay. Here I am.
Yeah.
Okay. So I live in Brookdale, West U, and we have a cancer patient here. She has blood cancer. She's dying. And she's so filled with anger. It radiates off of her. And she wasn't before, and now she is. And I just wonder if she would fit for something like that, or I just think it's wonderful that you all are doing this. I've read about it, but I just
yeah, small minds should keep quiet, but I'm not going to. If she's an end of life patient, I'm doubt she would qualify just because of the physical requirements. But another thing I've been part of is ketamine treatments. I work with a nurse practitioner who's like one of the most brilliant brilliant women I've ever met, and just incredibly intuitive about what people need. And I've worked with groups that she was treating for depression and anxiety with poetry as a means of beginning to open up to the ketamine treatment. I can do this in 2 sentences, I promise. If ketamine seems like, what is that? It's an anesthetic, a dissociative anesthetic that's been used for a very long time. My dog got ketamine when he was neutered. When I worked in the hospital, ketamine was given to children who were in incredible pain because it's known to be so safe. Now, if you've heard that it's addictive, that's a whole other matter, like many other medications. But I worked with an end-of-life patient with ketamine. And there's actually an article about it in the New York Times. I think it's the title something like Life-Changing Psychedelics, where my partner and this patient are featured. So this is my long way of saying, if the person you know is not able to physically handle a psilocybin treatment, and I don't want to make it sound like, it's a very difficult thing at all, but you can imagine at end of life, then ketamine might be helpful to her, and it's legal. One can find a ketamine therapist, and I would hope one can find one who works with end of life. So yes, my small mind shouldn't have said anything, but I really feel strongly that people at end of life can experience joy and can experience some alleviation of the kind of anger you're talking about. Sometimes we just say, oh, well, this is dying and this is difficult, and, whatever we think, or whatever leads us to believe that we all will be, left with no recourses. I feel pretty strongly about it. The anger part, whatever's down there is gonna come up.
Right.
And anything that comes up is better than it being down there pulling the strings.
Right.
No.
I understand. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Maritza, you had a question?
My question, thanks, Martha, for this information. Are you coordinating with the I think it's called Integrative Medicine
Integrative
Department
medicine.
at MD Anderson that deals with non-medical modalities like yoga, meditation, discussion?
Yes, and what you call the primary investigator, the person in charge of our trial, is in head and neck surgery. And so I was about to say that, like, if we're moving on, let me just say, and I see you, Alyssa, so we're not moving on. Let me just say that if you knew someone who then wanted to be referred or more information or whatever, the trial itself is being handled by head and neck surgery at MD Anderson. Yeah. Okay, Alyssa, what you got?
I was just going to make a comment that I have experienced recently. My husband was recently diagnosed with cancer, and when we went to see the oncologist for the first time, he talked about the process and the treatment using wonderful metaphors. And of course, there was a high level of anxiety on our part in that meeting, and his facility with language is what put us at ease and made us feel like we were in the right hands. And so yes, that work is transformative, having only experienced the tiniest bit of it. So thank you. Keep doing it.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. And I now always tell my physicians, I go to see somebody for the first time, and I make sure to say, this was so important to me that you explained it in this way. This metaphor was so helpful to me. Thank you so much. Because it goes overlooked. It goes overlooked. Okay. I'm going to share my screen, and ideally, and I'm going to read a poem by Emily Dickinson. The brain is wider than the sky. For put them side by side, the one the other will contain with ease, and you beside. The brain is deeper than the sea, for hold them blue to blue, the one the other will absorb, as sponges, buckets do. The brain is just the weight of God, for heft them pound for pound, and they will differ, if they do, as syllable from sound. It's Dickinson, right? So we could spend a great deal of time just reading it over in our heads. Listening to you as you were gathering, it's really clear to me that all of you experience the non-ordinary state of consciousness that happens when you're deep in creating whatever your art form is, where you lose sense of the managing ego, where you lose sense of maybe your environs or your body, even if you're writing or typing or molding or carving. And those are, for me, those are very precious moments. Those are moments without the feelings we were talking about before, without anxiety, without depression, without worry, transformative, really. Simone Weil, in the quotation I had on top of the summary for tonight, absolute unmixed attention is prayer. And I've often said this for myself, that the only time that I feel free enough for some sort of transcendent experience is when I'm writing. That's my prayer time. And I wonder if I want to see you again, even though I also want you to see Dickinson. I wonder if there are other experiences of non-ordinary states of consciousness, right? When we think of consciousness, there are, tomes and tomes and tomes of philosophy about what consciousness is. But basically, we can just say it's awareness. So I'm wondering if you can offer up other instances that you have lost awareness of surroundings, of your ego, of your body, etc.
That happens to me when I'm doing the dishes. I refer to it as a quotidian mystery.
Say more.
Well, so I had read in my work here at the Jung Center, I used to have a small pamphlet called Quotidian Mysteries. I think it was by Kathleen Norris, but I'm not 100% sure.
Mm.
And they talked about how the everyday acts of the mundane that we have to do in our lives, if they're done with an intention and a feeling and a sort of release to them, then they become sacred. Like we all have to dust, we all have to vacuum, we all have to do the laundry, whatever that is for you. If you're lucky enough that someone else in your house does the laundry, but for me, it's washing dishes. And interestingly, I'll put it off. I'll put off washing dishes all day. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, oh crap, there's a sink full of dishes. But the minute I settle into it, it becomes the most delightful activity. And I do it wholeheartedly until everything is taken care of. And then you have this wonderful, I did it, and clean space that results from that. That I just find weirdly addictive.
Well, I'm gonna squeeze you into my list and say that that belongs to the meditative. And what you describe as the circularity of it, I really admire, right? Like there's a circularity to it that reminds me of the meditative. So yeah, and then there's actual, sitting on the cushion meditation, walking meditation. What else?
I'm in a lot of pain all the time. And it becomes a meditation. I mean, I don't know quite how to describe what happens, but I just allow myself to enter it, and then it's not overwhelming. It's only when I fight it that it becomes overwhelming. And I do take drugs for it. I take an Orco, but that I don't know how to explain about pain. That it is, I used to have migraine headaches, and I had cramps, and I had earaches. But now I just live with pain in my body from arthritis, from neuropathy, from this and that. And it doesn't overwhelm me. It's just there.
Wow. You said a couple things, like I'm trying to learn the grace of acceptance, that the difficulties come from resisting, and accepting something doesn't mean I'm learning that accepting something doesn't mean that I don't think it should be changed, or that I need, it means that I'm accepting how it is. I'm not fighting how it is. And then I'm moving on from there. So your idea, I mean, not idea, but you're talking about acceptance is very profound to me, because it's something I've been thinking about a lot. And then pain endurance is something that spiritual people have sought out to create the non-ordinary state of consciousness, as difficult as that is. When one has pain that one hasn't chosen, right? I'm thinking of the hot coals and the flagellation and the fasting. Those other things sound extreme, but fasting. A Christian example for me is, Jesus went out in the desert, the story says, and didn't eat anything for 40 days, even though 40 we know means a long time, not necessarily 40, but whatever. one would think to elicit visions, to elicit a non-ordinary state of consciousness. So even today, fasting, pain endurance, definitely. And then how many of you have children and have gone through physical birth? I am assuming that that is a kind of pain endurance that brings on a non-ordinary state of consciousness. I cannot testify to it, but I imagine that it is true. It's profound to me. What women who have experienced this have gone to, and it makes me think of what you said, Jerry, and acceptance. You know, okay. I thought the very first thing you guys were going to say, Jean.
Yeah, I'm wondering about the whether this would apply to when you're in a really dangerous situation, very traumatic situation, and it's kind of like there's almost a click in your head, and your consciousness shifts from being where you could think about anything to just being so intensely in the moment that basically it saves your life, it saves your ass, but it's not necessarily a pleasant way to get there.
So just for my little notepad, I mean, I'm with you. Extreme fear. Absolutely. And extreme pleasure. Right? Feeling out of one's body, losing track of one's surroundings, etc. And yet still, the one I thought you guys were going to say first was dreaming. I thought you'd say dreaming, but you got way more into, actually, for me, more interesting territory. Not that dreaming's not interesting, but the dream state, totally unaware of any kind of conscious thoughts or conscious feelings. Okay, extreme pain, extreme fear. We'll put childbirth under extreme pain, I'm assuming. Dreaming, meditation, intoxicants, alcohol, whatever, fill it in. And then I would list psychedelics as sort of separate. Because I mean, it's not like alcohol hasn't been used in a ritual setting, in a religious setting. Absolutely has. Absolutely. Through many cultures, many centuries. Right now, though, I'm more interested in the history of mushrooms, called, Holy Children by the Zapotecs, and just how many thousands and thousands of years ago they're depicted in art as part of religious motifs. So psychedelics, definitely the non-ordinary state of consciousness. And creativity and the creative endeavor. Yes. Hey.
Thank you. Well, and I was going to say, oh my goodness, my brain is just pinging around, but I have, I think, achieved a non-ordinary state of consciousness through my prayer life a couple of times. Doesn't happen real often, but a couple of times. But the other thing I was thinking about is when I stargaze, or when I'm out there with my little tiny telescope or my binoculars, and I get lost. I just totally lose myself in the nighttime heavenly sky. And so for me, Like one of the gifts of the Holy Spirit is wonder and awe in God's presence. And I would give a hearty shout out for wonder and awe. I think that's what does it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awe is such a great word because
Yeah.
it makes your mouth fall open to remind me what it means when I say it. Yeah, wonder and awe. Um,
Well, isn't that where awful comes from? To
Yeah.
be full of awe.
I want to say one more thing. When I was a young Catholic coming up in Catholic grade school and high school, we learned the seven gifts of the Holy Ghost, and the last one was fear of the Lord. And only in my adult life did they change that to wonder and awe in God's presence. And I thought that was just remarkable that they changed fear of the Lord. And you were talking about fear and pain and everything, and they changed it to the longer phrase as a part of that sequence of the gifts of the Holy Ghost.
But I would totally agree with you, and I would say they reinterpreted it because the word could be fear, something closer to fear or something closer to awe, and it depends on the mindset of the translator, which way that's gonna go. So thank you for bringing that up. Um, there's there's something I want to seg into. I have a couple poems that I hope you'll enjoy, but first, I thought it might be fun to just have a little moment of creativity and see how that feels. So come along with me on this. And what I want you to do first is just write down an abstraction. Joe, you had something?
No, I have no paper.
You have no paper. Um, are you wait, now you have a pen. It's a start. Do you have a thigh you might use? Oh, good job. I want you to write down an abstraction, a feeling or an idea. It might even be one of these states that we're talking about because they're all abstract. Dream, meditation, pain, pleasure. It might be one of those, but it might be something else. As long as it's a feeling or an idea. Okay, I am going to pick. I almost never pick this, but I'm just having a good day and I'm having fun right now. So mine will be happiness. That will be mine. Happiness. No, yes. Okay, happiness. So we're kind of going backwards here, back into the body. Happiness I can't taste happiness. I can't feel happiness. Happiness is an abstraction. So I'm going to pretend that I could hear happiness. What would happiness sound like? I could smell happiness. What would happiness smell like? Let's say I chose pain. What would pain taste like? And so take your abstraction through the five senses. And I like doing this particularly because the imagination has to run free because there's no reality to refer to. Try to be as specific as you can. Emily Dickinson wrote to someone and said her eyes were the color of sherry in the bottom of the glass that the guest leaves. It's amazing. You know those horns that are like long and they're flared at the end? Are those trumpets?
Mhm.
Well, how do you distinguish them from like a trumpet?
Well, it could be a trombone.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel's horn.
It could just be a horn.
Yeah.
If it's just one
Horn.
long pipe with a flare at the end, it's just a horn.
There are medieval and Renaissance horns that are shaped differently than what are used today.
And they have specific names?
Oh, Lordy, I don't.
Probably.
Probably, yes.
I gotta
Probably
find
did.
that. I gotta find,
Yeah.
because that's what happiness sounds like. It's not like this kind of horn, or no, it's like, it's the medieval with the banner, whatever. That's,
The angels usually are holding them.
Yes, angelic.
oh, so
Yeah.
they're,
They're horns.
Like Gabriel.
An angelic trumpet.
I'm gonna work on it, because I still don't have a smell for happiness.
Oh, I do.
Yo, yo. Okay, well, wait, before you say anything, like this it's not a parlor game, but I think it's fun when people share their sensory descriptions, and then we kind of get a chance to see what we feel from it before the writer tells us. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a game to guess, but it's just kind of fun, you know, to sort of experience all that sensory information and then see what feeling is elicited by us. So who can do this thing for me? Like, don't say your abstraction, but just read your sensory
Okay.
descriptions. Okay, Melissa.
Real quick, because I'm a librarian and I have mad Google foo skills, that there is an instrument called the buisine. B as in boy, Uisine. That was a variation of a type of straight medieval trumpet.
Very good.
Oh, thank you. Like, it's the funnest thing to go looking for, especially the etymology of a word, and then getting, you know, getting taken off on some kind of fun trip.
Yeah.
So what you found from the etymology. Okay, who's gonna read?
I'll go.
Okay, Jean.
Okay, so taste metallic like keys in your mouth. The smell of it is somewhere between sweat and ice. The physical feeling of it, the tactile aspect, is like fire and ice together. Sight is a sensation like the rapid dilation of a parrot's eye when it's about to speak. And hearing is deep silence filled with the sound of your own breath and pounding in your ears.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Is it fear?
Yes.
Don't say, that's okay.
First time.
Okay. Yeah, first time. I sometimes somebody will say fear, and somebody will say anxiety, and somebody will say, and then we'll recognize that all of those are part of whatever the person was thinking, you know, that emotions are mixes. Good for you. Man, that keys in the mouth. That's spot on.
For a minute there, I thought you were describing menopause.
That too.
Okay, who's going next?
Good.
Okay, Margot.
You'll never guess mine. That's
Oh,
your,
the challenge. The challenge.
Okay, here we go.
Huh?
Smells like fresh cut grass. Touches the moist fog of an autumn morning. Tastes like meringue on a lemon pie fresh from the oven. Looks like seagulls floating above the surf in Galveston. Sounds like the first warm breeze after the last snow.
Okay, give us a moment to throw some stuff on the table.
I don't
Okay.
know what this will take.
What you got?
I'm going to say memory.
No. but that's a good guess.
What?
You're describing smells, so I would say, well, memory came to my mind too. But you're saying it's not a memory. So,
I'm not even sure that I followed the assignment. So
I got something that's kind of like peace, but it's more more contentment and relaxation than peace, but I don't have one word for it.
Serenity or tranquility?
Oh, tranquility. I'm down with that.
no.
All right, Margot, what you got?
I think that's kind of close. I'll give you a hint. This is one of my lucid dream desires. When I'm having a lucid dream, sometimes I will do this thing. And then I think when I wake up, I'll be able to do this. You want me to tell you what it is?
Flying.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah, almost. Levitate. Just to rise up.
Levitation.
And
yeah.
look at everything. And I get so excited in my dream, even though it's a lucid dream, I think, okay, remember how you did this. Because when you wake up, you're going to do it. And then I wake up and I'm very disappointed because I cannot levitate.
You would like ketamine. Ketamine would work for you. And levitation definitely, that definitely follows the rules. Levitation, abstraction, and you went through the senses. That was fine. Okay.
I'll do mine. Gladys, I'll do mine.
Okay.
An emptiness that fills the holes in my stomach. Any voice will fill it with overflow.
That's the only sense I'm getting? I want more.
I like to give short but distinct.
All right.
Everybody knows that.
All right.
Say again. You said
Music
again, Gladys.
or singing, something like that.
Is it
Will you read them again?
Yes, an emptiness that fills holes in my stomach. Taste of any voice will make it overflow.
Loneliness?
Loneliness.
Yes.
Did you say an emptiness that fills?
F-E-E-L-S, like fills the holes in my stomach. F-E-E-L-S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you said the first time. But the second time I thought you said an emptiness that fills the holes in my stomach. And I'm like, that's crazy. I like that. Let me. All right. I got it though. Loneliness. I got it.
Wow.
Yeah. Who's got one? Many faces on my screen.
Sunlight.
Yes, Terry.
Okay. So I can see sunlight. I can smell the dampness of green. And feel the raindrops. And let's see what else. Okay. I can't read my writing. My writing went, but I type well. Okay. Something about a draft. That doesn't sound right. I was thinking about going outside today. And it was cool. and I could smell it was raining, but it wasn't raining. It was just, I could hear raindrops in a pond.
Yeah.
And then I could smell the dampness of greenery. But I don't know what I felt. I mean, what's the last?
Sorry.
I don't know.
I like wasn't raining. I could hear raindrops. I think it's beautiful. Just those two lines are beautiful. I would say possibility. But what else do y'all have?
It's reminding me of birth or creation.
Create.
I was thinking hope.
Maybe so. No, it was definitely, it was a change in the weather when I went outside. It was this massive change. And if it wasn't raining, it had been raining, but it was like, it was still drops of rain on the pond that's below me.
I want to say change or regret.
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 Wow. You maybe have stumped us. Yeah.
I thought becoming.
Felt very good.
Yeah, all of these seem like a piece, becoming, change, even regret, possibility. Because regret is sort of on one side of change. Like they're very close. Good for you.
Yeah.
We got another one? I love these.
I can do one.
Where's you?
Yeah, I have to get off of I'm on my cell phone and I have trouble getting on and off my camera. Hold on. 1 second. Sorry.
You have all the empathy from me.
Take your time, Gwen.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why I can't do this.
We can still hear you.
Punch.
Yeah, I might
We
just.
can because you're a human being. That's
Okay, I'm just going to read it. I really can't get the icon to come up.
okay.
Okay. Colored windmills spinning rainbows in the air, satin and silk beneath my fingertips, so soft I almost can't feel it. It sounds like music, a melody that makes me want to sway and dance outside in the moonlight with the sweet taste of honey on my lips.
Sounds happy.
I don't know, but I'm signing on.
Yeah.
It is, man. I'm there. I want it.
Is it love?
No.
Sounds like pleasure to me.
Yeah.
Joy.
It sounds like excitement or exhilaration or something.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's close. It's fantasizing.
Okay.
Oh,
Fantasy.
that's a normal state for you.
Yeah.
That's good. I wondered about the music. Like, what's the music?
The melody. I mean, it was hard to actually capture what the melody is, but it's like a poignant, beautiful melody.
Okay. Poignant's an interesting word. Okay. So I like these when I can't get started writing, it's just kind of a little warm up for me. And a practice in specificity, I suppose. in trying to get down exactly the sensory details. So I hope they were fun.
They were fun.
And
Yes.
they'll,
Yeah, they were fun.
They were good.
you know, maybe even serve a purpose. Let me show you the poems I brought. I'm sure I can do this thing. Oh, wait. I'm sure I can do this thing, she says.
Cheerfully.
Yeah. Okay, this I think will work.
Okay.
Yes, okay. This is a poem by Jane Hirschfield. If you don't know her work, very spare. This is like, you know, 10-page poem for Jane Hirschfield. And very much informed by Buddhism. Three times my life has opened. 3 times my life has opened. Once into darkness and rain. Once into what the body carries at all times within it and starts to remember each time it enters into the act of love. Once to the fire that holds all. These 3 were not different. You will recognize what I am saying, or you will not. But outside my window all day, a maple has stepped from her leaves like a woman in love with winter, dropping the colored silks. Neither are we different in what we know. There is a door. It opens. Then it is closed. But a slip of light stays, like a scrap of unreadable paper left on the floor, or the one red leaf the snow releases in March.
Read it again. I love it. Read it again. I love how you read it. Yes, I just love it. It
Thank
just
you.
sinks in. Thank you.
3 times my life has opened. 3 times my life has opened. Once into darkness and rain. Once into what the body carries at all times within it and starts to remember each time it enters into the act of love. Once to the fire that holds all. These 3 were not different. You will recognize what I am saying, or you will not. But outside my window all day, a maple has stepped from her leaves like a woman in love with winter, dropping the colored silks. Neither are we different in what we know. There is a door. It opens. Then it is closed. But a slip of light stays, like a scrap of unreadable paper left on the floor, or the one red leaf the snow releases in March.
Wow. Steve.
Okay, person who loved it, who I cannot see, tell me about it. Tell me about loving it.
Gladys, I think that's you.
Oh, what? Oh, I said I love reading you read it. I think it gives it makes me realize how we have to revisit things in our lives to get a purpose and to get its true meaning and what happens to us at these times. And each time, one time it does this, and you go another time it does that. And so what happens is that it allows us to really expand who we are as individuals. That's it. I'm yes. Hello.
I mean,
It's good.
That was amazing, Gladys.
yeah, I was just taking it in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I did something wrong. I'm like, nobody's saying anything.
No, I got to take it in. I think that so resonates with me and resonates with the poem.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what this is like this game, this name retrieval game I can't do, but whoever said that sometimes prayer is has a glimpse of a non-ordinary state of consciousness. And I was reminded of that the second time I read this poem, of your saying that. That kind of goes with Gladys saying, you know, we look back at these moments that she's pulling together these moments of what I feel are non-ordinary states of consciousness, or I would maybe better call them transcendent moments of clarity, and pulling those together. And I think it's so full of chutzpah to say, you will recognize what I am saying or you will not. It's like, you know what? You're either going to get this is either going to resonate with you or is not. But this is what I know. You know, I know this maple.
There's also,
There you are, Kay. I just couldn't remember your name.
Yeah.
there's also a passage of time in it. And I like so much what Gladys said in her summary of revisiting experiences. But I also think there's a mortality in it. She's talking about how she's aware of all this, but she realizes life is fragile. She's that little leaf hanging on the end of the branch that finally releases. And that release you could see as death, or the release is a freedom, you know.
Yeah.
But it's all in there. My goodness, what a glorious poem.
It made me think of, since she said at the beginning that she was into Buddhism, that it's reincarnation, that having a little bit of memory left from a life before. So each time that you change, you hold on to a tiny piece of you.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing is that there are things that we carry within us all the time. But we don't know they're there, but something happens and we recognize them and we go, oh, I know that. I know that. I've always known that. And I like to sleep in a very dark room. You know, I have blackout curtains in my bedroom because I like for it to be very, very dark when I sleep. So I go to my bedroom and I shut the curtains and I turn off the lights. But guess what? It's not ever completely dark.
Exactly.
There's always that little slit of light coming under the door. So, you know, it's like there's always, no matter how dark it is, there's always that little bit of light that you can find.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know. I'm going to try to express this. There is a door. It opens. Then it is closed, but a slip of light stays, like a scrap of unreadable paper left on the floor, or the one red leaf the snow releases in March. To my ear, and I'm a iambic grid, alliteration, balanced lines sort of person. This whole poem has just fallen out. Perfectly musical. Perfectly musical. And then she says, or the one red leaf the snow releases in March.
Yeah, it's
And you can think of all sorts of words that you could put there that would be more musical. Or I could. Or the one red leaf the snow releases in spring. Right? In spring. It's just this nice quiet, the S's, you know, echo one another. But that's not what she wants. It's like it's her very last syllable, or the one red leaf, the snow releases in March, you know? It's not the quiet ending that is like the very quiet cadences all the way before. I am so curious about that. And I don't know, I know it's right. It affects me. Or the red light, the snow releases in March. I don't know. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I can't see you, so y'all all could be rolling your eyes. I'm not sure.
No.
I feel like that brought me back to reality.
Yeah.
That especially at this time of year, like we're about to turn into winter and the leaves are about to start dropping. But like, so she has us in this very sort of lyrical daze, right? And then she brings us back to life.
It's the end.
Yeah.
The end.
Yep, I see it. It's like snap out of it, sort of. We're in this very hypnotic. I mean, it's a
Yes.
beautiful poem lyrically. I mean, it's beautiful all the way around, but it's beautiful lyrically. And then, or the one red leaf, and then we get all the monosyllables, right? Left on the floor, or the one red leaf, the snow releases in more. Thank you. I really wanted to understand that.
I wanted to say too that March, it's an end of something, sound wise, but it's also it goes forward. You march, you go forward with the march.
Yes. Yes.
Both seasonally and physically marching.
Marching.
And it, I grew up in snow country, and March is kind of like an annoying month. Like, when is this winter ever going to end? It's spring is supposed to be here, but and there is that dirty snow, right?
Yeah.
It's just everywhere. And they, they said, but I always heard as a kid, March comes in like a lion and out like a lamb. It's like the first part of March is winter, it's cold, it's not pretty, and there will be these little single leaves left on trees. And yeah, there's a lot going on with March.
There is.
You will recognize what I am saying, or you will not. It goes back up to that line.
Yeah. Well, you have a treat in store for you in reading Jane Hirschfield.
She's good. She's good. She's good.
I also brought a poem that Robert Bly translated of Antonio Machado. So now we got, Hirschfield's poem was probably written, in the last 20 years.
Okay, that's recent.
But Machado, early 20th century. Is my soul asleep? Is my soul asleep? Have those beehives that work in the night stopped? And the water wheel of thought, is it going around now? Cups empty, carrying only shadows? No, my soul is not asleep. It is awake, wide awake. It neither sleeps nor dreams, but watches, its eyes wide open, far off things, and listens at the shores of the great silence.
What is the great silence? Is that what loneliness and emptiness feels like? What is that great silence? I'm sorry.
The great silence.
The great silence is when you're in a room and you hear chatter, but nobody is connecting with you. Your soul is silent. What is it? Okay, I'm finished.
I'm grabbing my OED to see the etymology of silence.
Yes, yes.
Anybody speak Spanish?
Yes.
How do you say silence in Spanish?
Silencio.
Silencio. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to make sure I got
Silencio.
that. So in silencium is it's just Latin. But I'm gonna have to mess around a little bit to find out. Man, it's one of those words that they keep referring back to silent, as if it's a word that's been around so long nobody remembers where it came from, which, when you think about it, makes a great deal of sense, right? There has always been silence at the shores of the great silence.
The poem reminds me of my own creative impulse, in that when I am stressed out, it goes to sleep. And the first time I experienced that, I thought, oh dear, has it gone? Has it died? Has it disappeared? But no, my creativity is not asleep. It is wide awake. And waiting for when it's needed again.
How interesting.
Sometimes the soul has to be asleep to survive. Sometimes it is necessary for the soul to be asleep. Because asleep means it's not dead. Sleep means it will awaken again. But there are seasons in our lives that our soul must be asleep. And we must see shadows, and we must do it, because if we don't, we won't survive whatever we're going through. So the soul, it is imperative. And if the question is my soul asleep? There are times when one's soul must be asleep. It doesn't mean that it's not going to awaken. It doesn't mean it's not still having a pulse, but it must be asleep to allow for the conscious and the body and all whatever, the energies of the earth, to continue to build us up. Because if we stay awake all the time, it will overcome us. It will destroy us. It'll make us who we're not to be. So we must go to sleep. We must sleep sometimes. We must sleep.
It kind of reminded me.
We must rest the soul. We must rest the soul. We must rest it.
Yes.
If we don't, we are subject to die. And so by sleeping, we know we shall awaken again. I'm sorry. I'll take it up.
Preach it.
Yeah, you will. She'll take you to church. I was kind of reminded of Paul Simon's The Sound of Silence.
Yeah.
But been looking at
Sound of Silence. Yeah, that was a great song.
Okay. Well, the other thing I love that Gladys said, what she said so wonderfully, we have to self-care. Yes. These are terrible times. We have to, even though we know we're letting ourselves down, you might say, a little bit creatively. I feel some guilt about that and sadness about that in my life lately. But I've got to do the self-caring, or I'm not going to get through these times. Gladys is right. Sometimes we need to sleep so we can survive.
Yeah.
I had to go get this poem. Gladys and now Kay. I had to go get this poem. And it's actually a poem I thought about putting up, but I didn't. So this is a poem by Louise Glick. And it's in a book called The Wild Iris. which for my money is the best volume of poetry published in the last 50 years. The Wild Iris. At the end of my suffering, there was a door. Hear me out. That which you call death, I remember. Overhead, noises, branches of the pine shifting, then nothing. The weak sun flickered over the dry surface. It is terrible to survive as consciousness buried in the dark earth. Then it was over. That which you fear, being a soul and unable to speak, ending abruptly, the stiff earth bending a little, and what I took to be birds darting in low shrubs. You who do not remember passage from the other world, I tell you I could speak again. Whatever returns from oblivion returns to find a voice. From the center of my life came a great fountain, deep blue shadows on azure sea water. And the people say, how could I not think of this poem? How could I not think of the Wild Iris and having to, as you say, sleep? Having to sleep.
Yes.
And both, it is terrible to survive as consciousness buried in the dark earth. And I tell you, I could speak again. Whatever returns from oblivion returns to find a voice.
Absolutely.
I don't know how to make it so you can see it. Oh yeah, look at this.
Oh, it's okay. She shrunk the. Okay.
Wow.
Irises are my favorite flower, and wow, this helps explain why.
And here's this door again. I didn't even notice that when I was looking for poems, the connection between Hirschfield and Glick and the door.
Yes.
At the end of my suffering, there was a
Yes.
door.
It was.
And there's a door, a choice. There's a door, and doors mean choices. Doors lead us to different things. Doors mean transition. So there are doors. You know, always there's a choice, and there's a door.
Interesting when we leave, whatever you call it, there's a little door that you walk out. There's an icon.
Oh, to leave on the Zoom.
To leave a Zoom room, yeah.
Thank you.
And Martha, as much as we are all enjoying this, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge it is 7:44, and just pointing that out. And I want this richness to go on forever. I'm just going to sit in this paradox.
Oh, it's okay. The Machado was my last intended share, but I couldn't resist the Glick after hearing what you guys had to say. I can certainly add the Glick to that 3 pages I had and email it to you. So you have these.
Oh, yes,
so you have
please.
these poems.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Oh, now if I stop sharing, I get to see everybody to say thank you. This was great fun.
It was great.
Agreed. I'm not a writer, and I wrote a poem this evening.
Oh my. I feel sort of like I've been to church, and I don't even like to go to church.
Oh, that's a great compliment. You know, this trying to acknowledge some circularity. You know, doors are this big psychedelic motif that runs through a lot of people's experiences. You know, you think the band, The Doors, which comes from Huxley's The Doors of Perception.
Heaven and hell.
Yes. And Blake. And I remember I have a friend who was part of the trial at Johns Hopkins they were looking at people who meditated, lifelong meditators, and what their experiences of psilocybin would be like. And so she was part of that trial. And it was a ketamine specialist who she asked, okay, you know, any advice for me? And he said, open every door you see.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's good advice, period.
Open every door you see. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you so much, Martha. This was incredibly rich. And look forward to welcoming you as part of our community now.
Right. Yeah.
Loved it.
Susan, we turn things back over to you if there's any other announcements.
Well, I just want to say that, you know, just listening to you all tonight, just listening to your answers during this presentation and the way that you have been involved in it, I feel like this is sort of the heart of WiVLA, that this is what we do. And individually and collectively. So I just, this has been a wonderful evening for all of us. Thank you so much. We're going to open it up now to announcements. Anyone have anything going on? I know we've all got lots going on. Let's hear about it.
I have an announcement.
Sure.
I have a new book. I have a book.
All right.
Deny the River. It is a memoir and takes place in the first 100 pages in St. Tammany Parish that our guest speaker might be familiar with. And it's southeast Louisiana above New Orleans. And so it's a memoir, and it goes through the discovery of a well-kept secret by my mother and her 3 sisters, and my discovery of it. So it goes through the Hurricane Katrina and the aftermath.
Where can we get it?
I am going to, I'll be bringing it to different readings at, I hope, soon. I just got the copies of the book. So I'm going to bring it to various places to see if they'll take it. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Hey.
Brooklyn Writers Press published it. It's a hybrid, so self-published.
Wonderful.
Right.
I would like to encourage people to be sure to sign up to read for Haunted Holidays. It doesn't have to be a ghost story or anything like that. If you have any kind of a story that where there's some, I think if there's some tension involved, where the audience might feel like, ooh, what's going to happen? You know, anything like that would be wonderful. It's always so much fun.
Yeah. I want to hear boo again.
Oh yeah, I should do boo again. Yeah, if enough people don't sign up, I might have to do boo again.
By encore presentation, please.
Oh, thank you.
Not everyone's heard it, right?
You wouldn't cancel it.
So I'll go next. My solo exhibition, Luminescence, is still downtown at the Cloister Gallery at Christchurch Cathedral through November 18th. It's open from 11 to 2 every day. Go have lunch.
Okay, and I have one. I will be speaking and doing poetry and talking about, I'll be at REI, which is off of 45 South at the Baybrook Mall, REI, on Saturday, November the 15th from 1:30 to 3. I'll only speak that long, and I'll talk about things if people get energized with what I'm saying. I promise you the poetry that I'll read, or what I like to say, I'm a conversationalist poet, and I like to engage, I like to engage my audiences, but I will be talking about the 3 African countries, and 4 destinations that I visited this summer. And it is a walk around the block with Gladys May Bullock, getting off the mountain. And when I have a series of this talk, the block, it's not just the block around the block. It is the block, the emotional blocks that we all go through. So if you want to hear some inspiring poetry, if you want to be able to feel something, some of you said that you've gone to church. I've often heard that. I don't mean that you say it all the time.
I can
Maybe
testify.
you testify. But if you want to get inspired, if you want to be encouraged, and if you want to hear something, things that you may have thought about but never heard it that way, I guess Melody can attest. I ask you to please come out. It's not a workshop. It is definitely an event. It will be, like I said, from 1:30 to 3. There will be refreshments, and there will be a PowerPoint, and I will be there ready and able to talk about your emotional blocks. And it is on our WiVLA calendar, thanks to Melanie. So please register for it. And I would love to see some of y'all out there. It's early up in the day, so folks need to get rides or whatever. Do that. And so thank you very much. This is my plug.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Is that it? Anybody else?
Yes.
All right. I think we will adjourn for tonight. And
Lovely
Thank you. See y'all next month. Hopefully I'll see you on November the 15th. But if not, we'll see you next month at our WiVLA meeting.
Okay. All right. Well,
Good
night.
Can you
Say
spell?
it again.
Scheduling Gespilkisness.
Oh,
Can you
Or
spell that?
Gespilkis.
Hope I can even say it.
Derivation, please.
It's Yiddish.
Yiddish, okay.
That's wonderful.
I love Yiddish.
Or it's
an
from the
excellent
Yiddish.
word.
Odds are very good I'm not saying it right.
But it sounds.
I think you are.
Said it with conviction, and yeah.
I think Alyssa should write a poem using that word.
All right, I'll commit to a haiku. Stay tuned.
Yeah, well, that's the whole.
But you have to
It's half written.
put that in the link.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Poor soul.